All right. Hi, I'm Dr. Ben Pitcher.
Hello, I'm Dr. Frances Ray White.
And the idea behind this video is to give you our top 10 of how to get the most out of your university experience. We know that these are trying times at the moment. We're online, so things are a little bit different. So this is for everybody, whether you're first years or whether you're second years or third years, all the way through. We want to show you how to kind of optimize your learning experience.
Number one, you have to remember that learning at university is different from learning at school. There isn't a curriculum that we cover in the live sessions. Most of them are a starting point. So the emphasis at university is on independent learning. A module is meant to represent 200 hours of your work. So you might spend a full day each week working through the materials that we've set you on a module, but this would add up to less than half of the time that you spend on a module overall. So the live session is a tiny part of it, and the most of the work is the work that you do preparing each week and doing your assignments.
Top tip number 2, how to get the most out of your learning. The emphasis we would like to place is on your weekly learning materials. So we all spend many hours putting this material together, and we put it together in a particular way. So we want you to engage with this in a sequence. Do the exercises as you go along, do the reading, make notes, and make sure that you fully engage with this material, because the better you engage with this material, the better your learning will be.
Number 3, we don't all teach in the same way across the sociology team, and that is a really good thing. But we do share good practice, and then we interpret that and do it in our own way. So we know students have different learning styles, we have different teaching styles. Hopefully there is variation across, and you need to engage with all the different ways that we teach in.
Top tip number 4, live sessions are where we check up on your learning. So they're not where the majority of your learning takes place, which is offline, but they are where we check in and see how you're getting on.
Number 5, so this is why live sessions work best when you've completed all the weekly learning materials that we've set you in advance. So don't think of the live sessions as a way where you're gonna get that material, we're gonna catch up on it. It's more that you've done the work and then we meet up to talk about it.
Tip number 6, live sessions work best with student contributions. Contribute in the chat, or put your hand up and unmute yourself. The more you do this, the easier it gets. And it's a really good skill to develop. So we're going to encourage you to contribute. We're not going to force anybody to contribute. If you need to build up your confidence, try writing in the chat first before speaking, or perhaps you're in a location where you can't speak at a particular point in time, which is absolutely fine. But we would encourage you to contribute as much as you can, because that's what makes live sessions so good.
Tip number 7, you need to make sure that you've accessed all the materials that we put online before the session. So this means checking Blackboard and seeing what you've got to do each week. Make sure that you know how to use online reading lists, that you know how to download articles, that you know how to watch videos. And remember, everything is in the Red Book. If you need help with using the library, or you need other sources of help, all the links are in the Red Book. The Red Book's on every module Blackboard site. And if you're still stuck, contact your personal tutor.
So now we're going to say a little bit about attitudes to assessments. So tip number 8 is that we only ever give you work to do that you are capable of completing. At each level, it gets harder, obviously, but you'll never set anything that is totally impossible. Level 4 marks do not count towards your final degree. As long as you pass all of your modules, so as long as you get over 40% in all of your modules, you can think of level 4 as a practice year, where your academic skills like referencing and writing get developed. So don't expect to be perfect straight away.
Tip number 9. even at levels 5 and 6, a lot of the work that we set you to do is formative. It's worth less on a module. It's asking you to use the skills you've learned on a module in a testing out kind of a way, which you will then do a larger assessment where you'll put them into practice kind of for real. So it doesn't have to be perfect every time. The point is that you get feedback on that work in order to improve the work on the piece of work that's worth more of the module.
Tip number 10 then, try not to get too stressed. It's not helpful. Don't try and be a perfectionist. Learning is about getting it wrong sometimes. So we'd really like you to chill out about that. And I think that's the end of our top tips. Thank you for listening.